Hey everybody! Welcome to another episode of the Sell More Book Show, episode 638. I'm Brian Cohen from Best Page Forward. I'm very, very excited to get you another short and sweet episode to continue our, 12 straight years of publishing these weekly podcast episodes. I'm pulling a little bit of an audible here because we actually had we had some notes ready, but I saw a great late breaking story that I'm excited to share with you about romance novels. So a little bit of a tweak there, but I was just in New York City doing an event for this wonderful Be Seen retreat. I talked a little bit about books. I helped some female founders, some business owners come up with their book titles and concepts, and it was so cool. It was so cool. We get a little in this world where in self-publishing fiction we come up with titles every couple of months. Just helping someone come up with their first ever concept and title was very, very exciting. So we're in a little bit of a funny place in the schedule, so we don't have last week's question, but we do have a webinar coming up, 10 ways to 10x your book sales. You've probably seen me email about it. Make sure you register. It's coming up on Tuesday, July 7th. Not only is it some stuff I've never, ever talked about, but it is also the launch for my new Kickstarter, Booked for Life. And even though it is a book for coaches and consultants, we're having so many amazingly discounted bundles of things that are great for everybody as a part of this. So definitely register for that webinar. So here comes our little audible here. This is late breaking from this morning. I don't even have a write-up on it. So we are going to just kind of walk through it here. This is from Deadline.com. More romance novels than ever being adapted for streaming, research finds. So TV audiences love a bit of romance, but in 2026 they want their romance to be fictional and preferably adapted from a novel. Research from Ampere Analysis found the vast majority of romance shows on global streamers are now scripted, and book adaptations have soared while reality TV has gone down. So with the success of Off Campus and Bridgerton and Heated Rivalry, the volume of first-run book adaptations has gone up 73%. There are 19 first-run book adaptations here in 2026, which is more than 40%. Book adaptations have been more than 40% of those commissions since the first half of last year. Amazon and Netflix have more than half of those. Book Talk, Ampere said, is one of the big reasons nearly 1/3 of 18 to 24-year-olds responded to the survey, said social media influences their viewing choices. Scripted romance has, quote, proved unusually resilient among younger audiences, maintaining the same level of appeal among 18 to 24s since 2020, while other genres have declined. It used to be an equal balance between reality and scripted romance on streaming, and now it's 83% scripted romance, and a lot of those coming from books. Mariana Enriquez Denton Bustinza at Ampere said, quote, the continued success of these titles has encouraged global streamers to rethink their commissioning approach to new romance content, moving away from reality TV and towards higher budget scripted shows with established fan bases. Romance and its book adaptations target a younger demographic that has become increasingly visible on social media. By tapping into these online communities, streamers improve their show's chances of success and ensure longevity through sustained fan interactions and commentaries. So, because we're coming up with this a little bit on the fly here, the questions for Hot Potatoes of Wisdom are going to come improvised. Why is reality TV less popular now with these younger demographic and book-based content more popular? I don't know. I feel like Gen Z can see through the BS a little bit better. They know that reality is BS. A friend of mine and mentor was just on reality TV very recently and just saw from the inside how fake it is, how everything's edited together, and how it's just not the real picture of things. But it's almost like the romance adaptations feel more real. They feel more what people want. And so I think that the fiction has become stronger than reality. Second question here, are we going to see this continue to grow? Look, I can't predict the future, but will there be more indie self-published titles get adapted for the screen? And I absolutely think so, because one of the things about self-publishing that I've learned from doing this show for 12 years is that we are always striving to get better, and that's not always something that the main system is built for. We are always striving to get better, so our books keep getting better, our relationships with readers keep getting better, and that is going to see indie romance continue to make it to the screen. Let's go to the lightning round. Chicka-chow. First question. No one is looking for me or my books, so why have a website? I actually agree with you. Why have a website? I don't think most people need a website, but a landing page is huge. You don't need a whole website to have a landing page, and if you have an email service provider like MailerLite, having just one landing page, one place to rule them all, is actually better than having a whole website. Now you're going to have to go out there. You're going to have to be a part of promos. You're going to have to run ads to get people to that page. And you want to link from that to that page from the back of your book too. But, it's going to help you to grow that fan base. Beyond the cover itself, what packaging elements, title, subtitle, series branding, back cover copy, formatting do you think indie authors estimate the importance of? Look, low-hanging fruit here, that product description, that back cover copy. You know that Best Page Forward has written 7,000 of these over the years. People continue to underestimate this because people can get to a page and then decide the book isn't for them. They read the back cover copy and decide, it doesn't sound that good. It needs to sound good. It needs to be a sizzling synopsis. It needs to really get people interested. And if it doesn't do that, and if it just has a bunch of run-ons, well, people are not gonna go and buy it. I've been told that book launches aren't important for newer authors. I've even been told they can do more harm than good. How is that possible? A book launch for a newer author can do more harm than good if you forget the 80% rule. 80% of your readers during a launch are going to come from your existing following. If you don't have much of a following, then you go spend $5,000 on some book launch package, it can do more harm than good, mostly to your bank account. Book launches are not the end-all be-all. My first book sold one copy in its first 30 days to my mother-in-law, and then it went on to sell 30,000 copies. If I'd given up after the first 30 days, if I'd stopped marketing, then, it wouldn't have ever launched the career that it has, selling over 140,000 copies. So I wouldn't worry too much about the book launch. I would worry more about growing your fan base between now and the next book launch. That's going to make the bigger difference. What story do you wish authors would stop telling themselves if their sales dip in June, July, or August, and what's a more useful story to replace it with? Look, year-on-year data is important. If your sales always go down in June, And then you say, oh, well, it's because I'm bad, or it's because I haven't done something well enough, when it always drops, then you're just not paying attention to the data. During that time, though, you can start figuring out, well, what's my plan for September? What's my plan for the month when sales tend to go up? Maybe I could have a launch go live on the month where I tend to sell better. If your sales dip during a certain month, but they're up year on year, you have done something. You have grown. You should be proud of yourself. If your sales have gone down, and it's a month where sales usually go down, understand that there are patterns in the world. And paying attention to those patterns is going to get you farther than ignoring. Last question of the lightning round. What's the most overlooked part of an author's business that you think should be systematized? ARC team automation. I will speak from the rooftop on this. ARC team automation. You can have an ARC, an advanced reader copy, go out for a book that has been out for a while. You can automate this. You can have it so in your main automation sequence for your email, if you don't have an automation sequence, time to get started. The 5th email in your automation sequence can send people to your ARC team, and then that email can get people to another email list that has another autoresponder that is actually giving them the ARC and following up with them on the ARC of book 1 of your series. This is a great way to get more reviews on your series starter so that you can run ads to it, so that you can get more people to read that series. Awesome. So hopefully you enjoyed that pivot of an episode there. Let's see. I want to see what we want to ask here today. I want you to figure out, what is the next thing you can celebrate in your author business? What is the next thing you can celebrate in your author business? And how can you reward yourself for all of your hard work? We don't celebrate enough, y'all. We don't celebrate enough. And I think that celebrating will make a big, big difference in your author career. I hope you found this episode helpful. We're going into the month of July. Happy 4th of July for those of you who celebrate. I love, love, love getting to do this show. I look forward to the next time I have a chance to do this live. But until then, I hope you have a great week of book selling, everybody. And we'll talk to you next week for episode 639. Bye.